I was homeless with very little money in the bank and no fucking plan. And I was like,
okay, Black Friday.
Now what? Talk about the most treacherous time in my life right before Christmas. And I asked my parents for money and they were like, and so I won't even go into that whole thing, but and then I found this little Inca spot that gave me this little lily pad, and I built it from nothing. It was this shoebox, shitty little room that I turned into, you saw it, you got to see it.
Gorgeous.
And I did that in a week.
A little temple.
And that was also, I was like, oh shit, my training at Burning Man.
My name is Anastacia Dadashpour, and
You're an author.
I am the author of Love, a Manual for Humanity,
yes.
Which is an awesome book. And I think that it is possible to upgrade one's consciousness and the vibration of love. If it's available. It's available.
Where?
Oh, it's available on Amazon.
Yay.
And I have a hotel called Sunshine Sanctuary in Montezuma, Costa Rica, and it's really beautiful.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Spontaneous meetup. I love it.
Yeah, babe, there's so many things I want to know about you. I mean, I want to know how France is. I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just generally how your life is.
I mean, it's wild and outlandish. I went from corporate 401k, white picket fence, mom, married. I call it my prescribed life, to now total fucking nomad. Nomadic, magic, carpet ride, portal hopping, Burning Man. And the transition between that was fucking rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
I remember. And there's so much to catch up on.
Terrifying.
Tell me about the transition, how you ended up here, and give me some deets on what's going on.
I had that loft in Rhino last year, and then my car lease was up.
Yeah.
And so when I got rid of my car, then I went, bicycle, right? I don't even need a car, because the year before in the sabbatical, I was traveling the world, and in every other country, you don't use a car. It's if you need a ride, you just get a fucking Uber now, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, this car feels like it's a waste of money. It's just eating up resource, right? So once I got rid of the car, then I was like, oh, now I'm feeling even more untraditional and unconventional, and I got to be more discerning and careful with my time. Do I really want to go there? Do I really need to be, and so not only was I saving money on a car payment and insurance and gas and upkeep, but also just not going a million fucking places to buy stupid shit.
Beautiful.
And that actually then kind of then set the ball into more freedom. And then Burning Man came, and I was like, I guess I'm going to go to Burning Man. And I've always wanted to go for many years, but I was always I'm not equipped, right? I don't have the equipment, and it seems like a lot of work, and I'll die out there. I can camp and rough it, but I was like, you can't just show up, and yet
you did. Yeah.
And yet I did. And I fucking crushed it. I was there for 20 days from start to finish. I left here on the 19th of August and got back on September 5th.
That's a pretty devoted first burn.
Build. I watched the whole city erect before my eyes and evolve and zhuzh. And the camp was amazing. And one of the women there, she was like, our one of our mottos is always be zhuzhing, ABZ. And I was like, oh my God, I found my tribe. Because that's what I do. I'm just constantly adding. And so going to Burning Man, as people say, right? It changes you, right? In ways you can't even imagine. And then when I got back, and then miraculously you offered me the boutique, the Sunshine Sanctuary, for
Yeah.
October. Like, and I didn't know, I was like, where am I going to go for October? So like starting that nomadic kind of way, and the universe is just like, oh, how about this?
Yeah.
You said you wanted ocean and jungle, so here you go. And like, and that was scary, but neither of us even asked any questions. I was just like, let's go. And then I got jumping. And I was like, after a week, I was like, if I had given this some consideration, I might not have come, right? Like I might have been, we both might have been like, well, maybe that's not the safest for a young lady to go hang out in the jungle by yourself with no one around during rainy season.
Totally. Good thing we didn't ask any questions.
No.
Yeah.
Good thing. That's
Salud.
one of those things where you're like, just say yes and trust. The playa will provide, the jungle will provide, the universe will provide.
Yeah.
And then, so that set me on a course of like truly kind of like throwing fucking caution to the wind and just trusting, going to the jungle for a month by myself, and all the while, like running out of money, like my 3D white picket fence money was dwindling. And I was scared out of my fucking mind because I was like, every time I was like, I gotta get on LinkedIn and get a job. I gotta get a job. You know what'll fix this problem of money? Getting a job. And I would get on LinkedIn, and twice I physically got sick, like throwing up. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like I was like, nothing. Like I could just go back and get a job in my industry and make good money.
Right.
Be back on the bus. I could probably call 10 places and be probably in a job in 3 months or 2 months or 6, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I was watching my bank account dwindle, and something deep inside the crazy talk was like, you're going to be fine.
Amazing.
You actually need to run out of this money. And I was like, no, I'm not going to run out of this money. That's for crazy people stories, but that's not going to happen to me. And then I was like, but I don't even have a plan. So once I run out of the money, like, then what? What's my plan? And I was always trying to build this, journey couture on the side, but like, even that, trying to do it in the way that I was taught, you got to have a coaching business, and you got to have newsletters, and always be writing offers, and always be asking for new clients, and constantly be doing social media posts about like asking for business. And I was like, I don't want to do that either. Yeah. Like I can't, that's not me. That's not me. I hate fucking being sold. Totally. And I'm not going to do it to people.
I know. I see it, and I just like, it's so authentic. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel the like needy, grabby.
And like then every time you talk to everyone, like, oh, let me help you. And here's a check. Or here, an invoice, give me some money, right? And
this will be $3,000. Yeah.
Right. And something kept telling me that this podcast was the most important thing.
Amazing.
But then I was like, well, how am I going to make money off of that? And so then one of my lessons was like, and this was just recent, where I was like, well, back to the money, running out of the money. Like, I'm like, oh, I came back from Costa Rica and I had a house sitting gig lined up for months.
Right. I remember that.
4 months lined up. And I was like, great, I'll be here. It'll be easy. It's free. I'm right down the, way from my best friend. I got my e-bike. I had it ready. Right. And that fell through. So on Black Friday, I was homeless with very little money in the bank and no fucking plan. And I was like, oh,
okay, Black Friday.
Now what? Talk about the most treacherous time in my life, right before Christmas. And I asked my parents for money, and they were like, and so I won't even go into that whole thing, but, and then I found this little Inca spot that gave me this little lily pad, and I built it from nothing. It was this shoebox, shitty little room that I turned into, you saw it, you got to see it.
Gorgeous.
And I did that in a week.
A little temple.
And that was also, I was like, oh shit, my training at Burning Man got me through this. And speaking of ketamine, I used a lot of ketamine that week to just keep me on the creative train, right? I'm just going to create, I'm going to paint, I'm going to build, I'm going to do this. And I know this is fucking crazy that I'm I'm building a little home in a in an art collective in the Santa Fe Arts District, and I'm homeless right before Christmas. Like, what the fuck? So, but I did it, and I was like, this little haven gives me peace and joy. And even at night, I would lay down and I'm like, I mean, fuck what others think. And when I see the terror in their eyes, which is why I was like, I'm not going to tell a lot of people because I don't want to have to make them feel better about my situation.
Right, exactly.
Right. But I would lay down
or even integrate their response.
I have what I need, and I'm fucking okay, and I'm better off and I'm happy. I was like, I'm happy. It's weird that I'm happy. I mean, I'm scared, but I'm happy.
That's really all that matters, though. I mean, ultimately, what else is there?
I mean, I was like, it was hard. It's like Christmas, and I used to throw these amazing big parties and celebrate and have a tree. And I'm like, I don't even know quite. I mean, but I did it. And I survived.
You get to go to other people's houses and see their tree. And go to their parties. They can host it.
Yep. Yeah. And that's when I really started, like, I got to the core lesson of like, my worthiness has nothing to do with my bank account. Has nothing to do with the car that I drive or the house that I live in or the clothes that I wear. And that was a deep lesson that I wasn't going to get if I didn't have any money. Because every time I had a little money, I was like, all right, let me fucking nickel and dime this and hold this in my lack and scarcity space and get by and struggle. And I needed to get down to the bare bones to see what my worth was. And I was like, I'm fucking wealthy. And then that kind of shifted things. And I've just been nomadicking for then the last few months. Once I finally got to that worth piece, so then back to the newsletters and the offers and the coaching and the business and like, oh yeah. And I was like, I've been using AI.
Cool.
I started using it at Sunshine Sanctuary like way differently. I was like, I was kind of fiddling around with it a little bit, but I was skeptical as fuck and I was scared of it. And I was like, I'm going to write all my own things. I'm a good writer, and I am a good writer.
You are a great writer.
I'm a great writer. I'm a great speaker, but I thought that people were using it to cheat. And then I realized, no, this. So talk about during my journeys, I've been doing this for a couple years, actually. I actually worked with a guy who put a neurocap on me during a ketamine journey, and we did a baseline of what my brain looked like before. Then he scanned the whole thing during the ketamine, and I speak. So one of the things that I've been doing for a long time is I used to journal, but it's hard to write, like when you're on ketamine. And when I was guiding other people on other medicines, I'd be like, let me journal and document for you. So you just be like, raise your eye mask or raise your hand or just yell out something, and I will document it for you so that you can, at the time of the music, I said this, or at half an hour in, things started changing. So I was documenting little, like you tie a string around your finger for a dream, right? Like I want to go back to that little nugget. And so integration then started becoming much more meaningful.
Right.
So then I started recording myself during journeys because I was like, I can't write. So then I just pressed the voice memo record on my phone and would just be talking during it, and sometimes go 20 minutes without talking. But honestly, the ketamine journeys are short. So the longest is probably 25 minutes maybe. And I talk, and that first recording that I did, I have gone back and listened to so many times, and the things that I was saying during it, even like 3 or 4 words, it pulls back all the meta.
Right.
So like that one phrase, I'm like, I remember that, and I remember everything above and below and all around those words, and that integration. So I was meant to do it that time as a seed planting. And so then I've done it a lot since then. And that's then what transpired me into like, I'm just journaling into my phone all the time, capturing my thoughts and whatnot. And even if I never go back and listen to it, I'm speaking it out loud.
And it's being captured,
right?
It's being recorded.
And I'm speaking it into the ether. So these fantastical journeys that I go on and what I'm orchestrating and building in my mind is now not just being captured, but it's being spoken as spells into the universe. Like, so that's the evolution of where that's gone. And so that's kind of, I feel like there was one other area I was going to come back to, but but then in the podcast, like even trying to create the podcast in like these professional, scripted, buttoned up ways, and like I got to sit in the studio and the sound has to be right and I can't have the outdoors, in the background, and that wasn't working for me because every time I would try to sit down and be buttoned up and polished, I would look into the camera and I'd be like, oh, now what do I say? And I can't do it this way. I have to be able to figure out a way to do this in the moment when the spontaneity and the thoughts are fresh and I fucking riff.
And I love, people's homes, different environments, Each podcast is going to be in a different space.
And I can now bring my portable portal with me. So like I can zhuzh up any spot, like even the park. Like I'll bring incense and like a fun blanket. And I'm like, oh, I just have my incense and my blanket and I find a beautiful backdrop anywhere.
Amazing.
And this phone now, it's like, you can just do it. I'm like, I'm going to revolutionize the way that podcasts are done. It's just one thing I'm going to do.
Yes.
So the podcast, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make money. I don't know. I mean, there's ways to monetize podcasts and the YouTube channel. And I have a voice and I know how to use it and I'm using it for good. So something has to come. The universe wants me to succeed.
Absolutely. Right? I'm sure. There's no question.
Yeah. And I've resisted it for long enough. And now
it sounds like the surrender piece. Like, maybe the medicine helped you like unravel your system enough to really sink into the surrender, like to allow the surrender. Yeah. The surrender of your energy, of attachments, the matrix that you have created around you.
Yeah. Attachments to all of the material prescribed life, right? Yeah. And breaking free of the prescribed life of and that's why I drank. So I'm trying to bring a new narrative to around like alcohol, but you can also partake in other substances, this archaic institution of, well, if you can't drink, you're broken. You're an addict and you can't control yourself. You're powerless. So therefore you can't partake in any substances because these other substances are scary because they will open your mind and expand you. And we don't want people to be expanded. Like when I say we, this is conspiracy, right? But it's true. It's true because these other substances are just another way to alter one's alter one's state of consciousness. I get up in the morning and I have a cup of coffee, and I'm not doing that because I love the taste of it. It's because somewhere I know that it's fueling me, you know, it's not, and I like to have sex. I love orgasms. They make me feel great. Right. Yeah. That changes my consciousness. But if I sat around and drank coffee and fucked all day, I would be an addict. Right. But doing things in moderation that make us feel good, I want to change the narrative that that's what we're all doing all the time. Every fucking thing that you buy at the grocery store or on Amazon.
Consciousness and intention, why am I doing this? Why do I need this? Why do I want this? What is this? What purpose is this going to serve? Is this a hole to be filled? Is this an expression of celebration? There's a lot of different energetics around our choices.
Even eating.
Yeah.
You could choose to open up a bag of Cheetos and get nothing from it because you're hungry. Or you could be like, I'm going to eat an apple. Or am I actually even hungry
I'm even hungry. Right. I have a friend that recently told me she often just has this nervous eating thing. And she's every time she has a craving, she stops and she's like, I am already satiated. And she said, often the craving just goes away. Yeah. And I'm like, that's really cool. For anything that you're doing, I'm already satiated.
Right.
I think that's a brilliant like reflection. And also, you know, coming to this, I don't think you use the words rock bottom, but like coming to a space where you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, the only thing I can do now is surrender. Is
Yeah.
this as you transition into a different space from there,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be really, really cognizant of the choices you make because you have a new fundamental understanding
Yeah.
of what is important. You know, like
Right.
so many of the things are just illusory. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just
The
like, I
stuff
mean,
that we consume.
why do I need to go to this place or see this person or do this thing? Or, you know, I mean,
Buy this stuff.
even the Christmas thing, I loved that narrative that you shared because, you know, I've been in Costa Rica for 4 winters in a row. And like, I was actually like, fuck, I love that I don't have to put up a Christmas tree and I don't have to buy presents and I don't have to send out all the letters. And I used to like bake cookies and put them in
Yep.
tins and send them to my favorite people. And,
Uh-huh.
you know, I was like totally
And there's
in
nothing
it.
wrong with it, but it's not like we are somewhere conditioned
But the
along the way that like you
ritual,
have to do that or something's wrong with you.
right, the ritual of it can
Mm-hmm.
either be totally beautiful and giving and loving, like
Mm-hmm.
this is the time of year that we celebrate our friendships and our love, or the ritual of it, like, fuck, I have to go like buy a present for my cousin who I never fucking
Mm-hmm.
see and I have no idea what they
Yeah.
want. Or like that
Yeah.
stupid part, like, but like refining it into, you know, at this point, I like call a couple people, I love you, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not, no one's getting a present.
No.
No one's getting a card. It's totally fine. I'm like off the hook, not because I don't like buying presents, but it's like,
Right.
we'll have an experience together later, which is
Mm-hmm.
mutually, you know, enjoyable
Yes.
versus like, I'm going to send some shit in the mail. I mean,
Right.
like, yay, Jesus'
It's
birth,
a waste
but
of my money.
yet,
It's a
I
waste
mean,
of the environment to get it to you. And you will probably just add it to the rest of your shit that
and
you'll never
even
use.
Black Friday, like
Ugh.
the symbolism of you hitting rock bottom on Black Friday, which is like the most consumeristic,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
day of the whole fucking probably planet, the history of the planet.
Yeah.
You know, where people are like pushing each other over for TVs. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's an interesting
Yeah.
pinpoint.
It sure is. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we are the only species on this planet. And let's make no mistake that we are sharing this planet with every other species. We don't own this fucking place, but we act like we do. But we are the only species that revolves our whole life around consuming things, consuming from the earth or
Mm-hmm.
making things from the earth or making things to make money
Mm-hmm.
for people to use and for them to use it in a way that is altering their consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to buy a new sweater because that's going to make me feel good, right? It's going to keep me warm, or it's either utilitarian, I need it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what do we really need? So that's the other thing about getting down to the bare bones of like, I still have too much stuff. I
Right.
still have too much stuff.
I totally believe
and I'm
you.
like, oh, I literally am carrying around what I need. The things that make me the happiest, that make me the most content. Like, I'm like, I got my stuff and I can go anywhere. Like, I don't need all of this other shit.
I had this moment recently and the memory came from many years, probably 25, 30 years ago. I can't even remember, but I recalled this feeling. I used to live in a pickup truck. I lived in a pickup truck off and on for like 2 years, 2 years total, but like off and on over many years. And this one stint, I lived in the back of a pickup truck with my boyfriend and my dog. And we drove around and just climbed and camped and like, you know, shower, like bathed in the river.
Yeah.
And like made all of our food out of a camp stove.
Fabulous. I'm like,
and he would read me like sci-fi novels by like, you know, lantern light every single night, or we'd like stare up at the stars, and we had absolute freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most freedom I've ever felt in my entire life. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, we had enough money to buy gas and food, and we weren't worried about money. And we weren't worried about what we had or what we didn't have. we had a couple shelves in the pickup truck and like some camping gear and some climbing gear. And what else do you need, really? I mean, I remember being like complete, like that word absolute, absolutely content. More so than any other time in my life, owning and selling and being and, you know,
the
titles
matrix.
and all of the
Because
things.
somebody knows where you are all the fucking time. That's not freedom.
Like having this moment of recollection.
Well, literally, as you're saying this, I can feel my Kundalini like fucking spinning right now.
Right?
Like as you're saying it, I'm like,
the feeling.
I'm like, I'm kind of turned on.
Because it's that essential feeling that is actually rippling through my system into this environment. And it's like, it had been with me all these years, but I forgot. I put it away and I was like, move on, next thing.
Right. That's not being a productive member of society.
Right. It just was like what it was.
All, but...
And no real judgment around it. It just was like something I didn't need to hold on to or think about. But like the memory of it was so ecstatic. I just was like bawling out of like pure emotion that I, in this lifetime, at least have gotten to know absolute freedom. You know, and it wasn't because I had $1 bazillion and a mansion and a jet and all the friends that have titles. You know what I mean?
Right, because that's not freedom.
Nothing about that.
Yeah, right, because that's not freedom.
No matter,
even
captivity, actually.
It's captivity because you're beholden and burdened by
other people's perceptions.
Even if it's paid for. Right? You still pay taxes on it. You still have to do the upkeep, shit breaks. You got to take care of it. You always have to be on call.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm in the matrix so hard right now. Yes.
I bet you are.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And one of my ketamine, once I started kind of like, I used to just do the lay down with the eye masks and journey. And then afterwards, hope for the best that I would remember shit. Right. Or then go back and listen to the recording. But then I started like not taking as much and keeping myself on a little bit more of just a different frequency. Right. Like not in a deep fucking journey K-hole, which I love those. Like K-holes are the fucking best because if you're in the right place in the right setting, you're like, oh my God, I'm like I'm pancake batter on this bed and I just can go anywhere and I'm completely lost.
Like, what does K-hole even mean?
It means you're in like you couldn't get up and like walk around and have a conversation. Your body is numb.
Out. Okay.
Right? But your mind, your soul is off. Like, it's like astral projecting, astral traveling, but your body is safe in its bed. But that's what a K-hole is.
Okay.
But if you go into a K-hole at a club, that's not good, right?
Right. That's why I was like...
So I said in setting is important. So a K-hole is kind of sometimes the fucking purpose. I'm disassociating from this reality and letting my soul wander to its memory, to its glorious places. But what I was going to say is that like this one, I kept myself in this up in a different realm. And I remember like, I blueprinted, architected this chakra house. I built a whole chakra house and I drew it. I had colored pencils. But in that journey, I had this vision of me almost floating. But I was in a crowd and I was all like pretty and like dressed up nice, but I was almost just like floating through life and almost like, oh, that's nice. And I couldn't even name what that feeling was. I was like, that felt really good, but I didn't even know what it was. And now I'm like, that was the ultimate detachment. I'm living in this world, but you can do whatever you want and it doesn't bother me. Right. You can be however you want. And it's like, and I'm there.
And isn't that perfection? Now. Like, I think about if that was realized in this world, that would be utopia. That would be the ultimate state of like
free
community consciousness when we're like, you know what? you do you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do me
Right.
over here.
Yeah.
And you can like it or not. You can just walk away. You can float away if it doesn't vibrate with you, and no worries. I'm not even going to worry about the fact that you floated away. Have fun. Bye.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah. And that's what Ladihan has taught me too. And what I'm trying to teach other people is like, you're just following your intuition. And when it's aligned for you, it's yummy. And the minute that it's not aligned, it's
thank you.
No problem that we just go our separate ways, whether it's forever or for 5 minutes or whatever. It's
no judgment.
Tapping into your energy. But now that word is freedom. Like non-attached freedom. And I have come to realize, and that I want to bring awareness, like I'm like, oh, I'm my Ram Dass learnings is that, not being attached to an outcome, but judgment. Like the bane of all human suffering, I believe, is all boils down to judgment. Judgment of ourselves, because we are taught to constantly give a fuck what other people think. Right. Oh, I shouldn't and that's why we all show up in different masks, in inauthentic masks. If I put myself into this box at work, then I only put the parts of me in there that they will pay me for. And that's not going to cause me to lose my job.
And I mean, the freedom that comes from not having judgment, where is that judgment? It's in you. It resides in you. And so releasing the judgment, you're like, oh God, there's a lot of space there. Wow.
A lot.
I mean, I think about, so the reasons Neanderthals had bigger brains than we did. However, humans who were smaller and had smaller brains succeeded beyond the Neanderthals because they could communicate. Yeah. But the communication was often like gossip, based on judgment, and I see those things often in my life where I'm like, wow, that chatter, it unified within oneself as well as like amongst other is like, it's so fucking toxic. It's like, it's
exhausting.
That's the thing that I think that we do really need to evolve out of. Like, that's where the space of utopia, I'm always like curious about what is utopia, where is utopia, how is utopia found? And that's actually one of my stage names in the Shamanic Dolls, is Utopiana. And I'm like, this is, this gossip and chatter I'm noticing at the hotel. This is like one of the things that I'm like so in it. And I'm just like, how does one help others repattern without like, I'm an employer. This is my staff. Right. I'm not going to be like,
you
hey,
empower them and you give them empowerment.
Yes. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? This whole like, judgment
that's not
thing.
Crazy. That's not crazy. A tiny bit of people do, people used to take kava before huge political conversations, let's share a glass of kava first before we get into this highly potential conflicted conversation. Let's get real. Let's get soul to soul and get real. And then let's figure out our differences. Yeah. Because we're all different. That's the other thing. There's no one truth. We're all fucking different. Your truth is very different from my truth. Even if we believe in the same things, right? We're going to see it in a very different spectrum of our lens, right?
Well, I've always thought about
think about your ketamine journeys, how complex they are and where you go. You can't even articulate it to someone.
Absolutely.
Right?
I have thought often about the closest person to you, say your spouse or sibling. Those are probably as similar as you can get, being that you've chosen that person to be your lifelong partner. Yeah. And your sibling who has the same conditioning, family, blah, blah, blah. Those people are massively different from you. And they're as close to your consciousness as one can get. And yet, worlds apart.
Worlds apart.
And then there's
you could be eating the same goddamn meal and your body's going to respond different.
Right.
Right?
Right. You can have a shared experience and perceive it totally differently. Yeah. Yeah.
You could each have one glass of the same exact volume of wine, and one of you might get drunk and feel like shit the next day, and the other one would be like, no problem for me.
Right.
Right? That's another, Yes. So realizing that back to Neanderthals versus the sophisticated human, our brains are efficient, right? Like they cut corners, they get rid of the riffraff, they're efficient. And so sophistication and intellect is limiting because then you're not using your wisdom. You are taking what other people have said, this is what's important for you to know, learn it and act this way and behave this way. And then you will be accepted in this class of people that you're desperately trying to show up in your mask for. And then if you're not doing it the right way, either you're judging yourself or someone else is judging you for it. And you're constantly trying to equalize and tweak. Oh, too much. Oh, not enough.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. And you're never going to please everybody.
It's such a practice to like stay in your center, be in your body, grounded, and like accept the fullness and expanse of yourself in every moment, from the time you open your eyes to the time you shut them, and like just stay in your center. Like, and I can't say I've perfected this in any way, but like, I notice as I get better at it, it both takes more energy to like recenter, ground that Kundalini energy. Like, where am I?
Right. Know your audience. Know your setting.
Yeah. Know yourself.
Like I get to be very different at Rhythm Sanctuary Ecstatic Dance than I get to be at the grocery store. Right? Oh, I'm getting ready to go into the DMV. I got to behave in a certain way and I got to get myself in check to go in there. And then when I leave there, I can get in the car and be like, what the fuck? But I don't have to go to the DMV anymore. So I get to go somewhere else. Yay. Matrixy, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's like know your audience. And that was the feeling that I got in that ketamine journey. It was authenticity. Like I get to walk around in my full authentic self.
Well, that's what I'm talking about is because when you are vibrating at your most essential point for you, and that's transmitted into the DMV or the grocery store or Rhythm Sanctuary or this conversation, whatever it is. Yep. It's like when you let the fullness of yourself be felt, and you let yourself release into the fullness of yourself. Like people fucking feel it.
People are waving at me on the street. Literally, I'm walking down the street and I'm just being like me, and it magnetizes.
I have people smile at me all the time. I'm like, oh, hi, thank you. Yeah. Good to see you.
Because you're radiating the good nuggets.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk past somebody on the street who's like, and angry. You feel that. They don't even have to say a goddamn word. And you feel it.
I've done experiments with this actually, where there was one time I was waiting for my luggage at the airport and I was just like, okay, I'm going to expand the essence of myself out as far as I can. I was like standing at the corner of these two kind of walkways. And I was like, okay.
I love that you said expand my essence. That's so good.
And so I was like, okay, give me a sign if anyone feels this. And I get an airdrop on my phone from JESUS. And I honestly, this is the dumbest part about this story is I didn't open it because I was like, God, it's probably a dick pic, or something. But I'm like, maybe Jesus was sending me a sign. I was like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
I mean, what the fuck? I'm like sitting there.
I mean, you ask for a sign and you get it.
And I get it. And then I didn't open the airdrop.
From Jesus would have been the best, but you're like, oh, Jesus.
Hello. Where are you?
Right? Yeah. He's like, I'm feeling you. You asked.
Right. But I think this kind of this thing.
This invisible sixth sense of what's going in the ether.
Yeah.
The energy. People are like, oh, that's fake. I'm like, how do you think you're getting your fucking shit on your phone? That's energy right there. It's invisible energy. And if you don't think that you're putting it out or getting it or that it's impacting you or affecting you, you're the crazy one.
Right.
We are putting out and that's what's adding to the conscious collective.
Right. And even being around people that we don't know yet, right. Like people that we may have judgments around, people that we feel
because they're suffering.
historically uncomfortable around.
Mm-hmm.
Like expanding our essence into the space. I found really like it softens the space where I'm not an attacker. Like my energy doesn't come out as like other or different or divisive or confrontational or whatever. You know, I'm just like neutral. And then I become, I'm not a threat anymore.
Right.
I'm just a human being. I happen to have a body. I'm over here, you know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to like diffuse.
I mean, that's the awareness around, am I going to play into the game of putting myself in this pretty little bow that I think people will accept, or am I going to just be my authentic self, and whoever that resonates with, great. And whoever it doesn't, then
it will repel.
Keep going.
And
you're on the wrong channel.
Right.
We're not on the same channel, and I don't need to be upset with you about it, and you don't need to be upset about it either. Like, let's just move on. There's 6 billion other people we can go talk to.
Right. 8.
Yeah. Oh, it's up to 8, huh? Great. Plenty of people to deal with.
Yeah, there's so many people. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this
I love this too. Because again, like I think this is the evolutionary impulse. And I think that at this particular time, you know, there's so many shamans and psychics and astrologers and, you know, channelers and truth sayers that are like, oh my God, we're in the birth canal of the new, you know, evolution of the human species. And, you know, I just am like, I want to herald that in the best possible way I can. As a singular individual called Anastacia, I want to be as much a part of it as I can be without like knocking something down, you know? I'm just like, but I think that this is
without forcing it on them.
Right.
Here's a newsletter. Read my newsletter and sign up with me so I can coach you and pay me for it, you know? And that's why I'm like, if I just be me, whatever's...
Because even the transactional thing, I think it's just getting boring. You know, even like the way that we've been doing things the last 5 or 10 years, which has become the norm. I mean, of course I want people to have money and success and abundance. Fuck yeah on all of it. And like the transactional nature of it is exhausting, you know, and I don't know what the alternative is, but I think we're just done with that. I think it's pretty clear. Most of us are like, you know, we do need healing and we do need growth and we do need coaching and we do need support. You know, all of those things are true. They're not going away, but like I'm only here for your dollar.
Yeah, I can't accept. I literally was like, I can't have an authentic conversation with somebody and then at the end be like, so do you want to hire me? Are you going to pay me for that? And I joked for a while. I'd be like, give somebody some wisdom nugget. And then I'd be like, that'll be $500, you know, as a joke. But then I was like, but how's that any different than me actually asking someone for $500 for me to impart some wisdom that might be helpful for them?
Oh my God. I got to the point where like every other day.
I'm not doing that. Money will come to me in the way that it's supposed to come to me, but I'm not going to fucking chase it.
Yes.
Even with Lottie
Exactly. I love what you just said.
Donation.
Yes. I'm
going to put this as donation based and you pay what you think it's worth. And if you can't pay today, then just come. Because what I'm really not even teaching, I'm just opening up a door to say, if you can use this out in the real world. For this one moment, you get to just authentically be in an energetic space and tapping into that sixth sense of intuition, of knowing that it's real, that I can trust the energy around me. I don't have to use the filter of the judgment eyes, right? Our eyes are great for certain things, but they fucking are the filter to the brain. And if we shut that down and we trust our energy, then we will truly know what the next best step is for us. And how can I put a price on that?
Yeah.
Right. So once I went, I was like, I'm just going to do this donation based and whatever I make. And if nobody pays me, but they all walk out of here going, I'm going to share this with everyone else I know.
Yeah. And even like, you know, the whole like trade system, like, you know, I needed nothing from you when you stayed at the hotel and it ended up being a great gift to me.
Yeah.
You know, but there was like, it was total, absolute, no attachment. And then you gifted me with your presence there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it totally was reciprocal. Or I had this experience
That's the
with
word.
this woman.
Reciprocity.
Yes.
That's the best exchange of currency.
Exactly.
That's the currency that we can all be working on.
I offered this woman like my attention, creating her book, and it came out of like total just. I was like, yeah, I want to help you, and she was like, okay, that sounds right. And probably a year later, she offered something. She was like, would you be interested in this thing that I'm doing? And I'm like, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, actually, that calls me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, we'll just trade. It's for free. And I was like, ah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If I had put a price on my time and energy, which, you know, is a totally valid thing to do. I don't want to diss that at all. Like people have, you know, you've been on this planet a minute and you have a lot of skills, as do I,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where our time is worth something. But, you know, there was the reciprocity of it was so
Mm-hmm.
much sweeter than dollars trading in bank accounts. I'm
Right.
like, this just feels better.
Yeah. My lily padding and, you know, nomadic ways, you know, it's like, oh, I don't really have money to give you rent, but you have space in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And in exchange for me living there for free, I have a lot of gifts that I can impart.
Yeah.
I can zhuzh this place. I can help you. I can coach you for free.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like
Yeah.
there's all these ways in which reciprocity. I have resources,
Love it.
you have resources. Let's both put our resources in the pot and see how it can lift us both up as
And
opposed
do
to
the thing that turns you on.
Yes.
Like some people love planting and gardening
Right.
and like pulling carrots out of the earth.
Right.
Some people love building.
Yeah.
Some people love cooking.
Right.
You know, like
I'm doing some things for you that you don't really like to do, but add value to your life. And now because you're not doing them, your life now is a little bit better because
and like living in our joy of like, this is what I want to do every day. I want to wake up and I want to do this thing. And perhaps I can, trade it in some way. I love it. Like when you talk about zhuzhing, I'm like, yeah, every space you go into, it's like,
I mean, that was another ketamine journey realization. I literally, and sometimes I just like journal, like I'm just writing down fucking things that are coming to my head. And those are the most valuable nuggets because and I'm just now remembering this right this minute, but it was like, I want to thrive and be abundant doing what I love.
Right.
I want to get paid for being me.
Like
and that was like 2 years ago. And I was like, well, that's silly. How is that going to happen? Perfection.
And so you're getting good feedback about people saying, yes, I want you in my space. Thank you very much. Great. It's working.
Yeah. And I'm now open to like, well, what's the most outlandish, beautiful fucking thing that I can ask for? And if I don't get it, like, you don't have to be angry for me asking.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not me asking for the craziest thing. People no is the best answer. Then a half-assed, yes, I'm going to give that to you, but now I'm going to be resentful of it. I'm going to hold you like accountable. And now I'm going to add some strings to that, but I'm not going to tell you about the strings. I'm just like, that's been one of the biggest lessons that I learned from Nicole. It was just like, no, thanks. No, thanks. That doesn't work for me. As opposed to, yes, but
right.
I'm like, I'd rather just have a no or a full fuck yes.
Right.
Anything in between leaves us both in this ambiguity of.
And maybe that's a learning for me and the audience is like getting really clear about like, are you sure that's a yes?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe
again, Ladihan lessons. Oh, I'm not feeling it. And I don't even need to know why.
Right.
I don't even need to know why this is a no. And I don't need to provide you with a bunch of reasons. I don't need to.
No,
it's just a no. And my body or something energetically says no. Nothing against you.
Right.
Just no thanks. Not now. Maybe later.
Right.
Or maybe never. But getting clear on the yes and the no.
Or I'm
for
not
yourself.
Sure right now. I'll get back to you.
Right. Yeah. Let me think about that.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm not a no, but right now I'm not a yeah. I mean,
right.
It leaves so much more room for a bigger place to play, even sexually. Like if you talk about your boundaries up front, you know exactly where you get to go on the playground. And maybe you don't go there, right?
Yeah.
But at least you know that you can. And then there's no like in the middle, like, well, should I touch him there?
Right.
Right? Or if I let them touch me there, does that mean more? Right?
Uh-huh.
Instead of just being like, yeah, fucking touch me there
Right.
anytime you want. And and then there's no questions.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. What's your fuck yes?
Yeah.
What's your no thank you? Because that's the other thing is like in this nomadicking, I'm like, oh, people will offer me things and they'll say yes. And then I'm like, is there a string attached to that? Is there a condition that so let's get
So
all the
do you ask them? Do you
I
clarify
am now.
that? Okay, good.
I am
Wow.
now because I'm like, well,
and what has been the feedback? I'm just curious. Like, are people like, well, actually, yes, I expect this, or
well, they think about it, and
yeah,
then they're forced to be like, well, is there a condition? Because oftentimes we'll say, yeah, you can go ahead and live with me, and then I'm like, well, what are the rules of the house? Well, you know, take your shoes off and flush the toilet or clean up after yourself.
uh-huh.
Really, is that it? Because if I'm like bebopping around at 1 o'clock in the morning or out on your porch smoking weed, like, is that going to bother you?
Right.
You know, no, it's not. Okay, great. But then later when someone's like, oh, I see your weed pipes out this morning. Did you? And I'm like, that's none of your fucking business.
Right.
And if you have something that you actually want to say to me about it or it bothers you, then otherwise don't be passive aggressive and now trying to like, is that a string that you forgot to tell me about? Now it's going to be bothersome to you. And if it is now, then just come out and say,
right.
It used to not bother me, but now it bothers me. So could you maybe now step out onto the front yard and hide behind a tree because I don't want my neighbors to see? Like, whatever, right? But like, if there's a string, just tell people about it.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of holding resentment and then like acting all pissed off. And then I'm like, wait, what are you upset with me about? You know?
Oh my God. I just had this really interesting experience with this person, which, you know, I had no attachment. It's not like I really had a romantic interest in this person anyway, but we saw each other 3 times. And the first time all 3 times he talked about himself the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I tried to bring up like, I have a pretty interesting life. I have had an interesting life.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things to say. But he would just override me every time. And the first time I was like, okay, he was on Kodum. The second time I was like, okay, I think he was really trying quite hard to impress me.
Right.
And then the third time I like, you know, just like opened up and was like, yeah, this is a big experience I've had in my life. I actually shared 3 experiences and no response. And I had the opportunity to be like, you know, right. I just want to like point out some reflection to you.
Well, it doesn't feel like there's not only maybe even like, I was going to say reciprocity in that case, right? But if you're not getting feedback, like this is how the universe grows and expands upon itself. And this is how we grow and expand individually is like, if I'm getting feedback in my authenticity, but if you're not getting feedback from another human, that's like where you both are like building and growing and adding to it, then there's no value in it, really.
Right.
Right? You don't have to put a price tag on it, but like you want feedback from the other human that you're spending time in your resource.
Right.
You want,
and that's what, that's what I told him. I was like, are you open to feedback? You know, my love language is communication and curiosity. And he totally received it. He was a little defensive at first, but like, I was like, you know, I could have just ghosted you or texted you something that you wouldn't have fully understood.
Right.
But we had a conversation about it. And I was like, you know, honestly, I hope that you bring this to your next person that you see and that makes you a more intuitive listener, communicator, and getting to know that person in a deeper
bravo
way.
To you for doing it that way.
And it also gave me the reflection of, I'm like, you know, I could have said something at the end of the first meeting. I could have said something at the end of the second meeting. And I waited until the third time we saw each other, which actually was like giving my power away. I gave like 6 hours of my life to someone that I knew in the beginning. Whose fault is that? You know, I have a question.
Yes. a reflective question or an inquiry,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, I'm curious, right?
Yeah.
So if after you said that to him and he received your feedback, or I wouldn't even say I would call it feedback. He received, your perspective,
Uh-huh.
right? If at that point he said, huh, you know, thank you for that. And perhaps we could try again. Like, I would like to practice on this. Would you be willing to give him? But see, that's where I'm curious.
Absolutely no.
Why? Because
no, I was so bored.
Yeah.
I was so bored.
Yeah.
Like, 5 out of the 6
Right.
hours that I spent with this person. And
Yeah.
that's where my fault.
Right.
I'm like owning my whole narrative around like, he didn't take my time. I gave it to him.
Yeah.
And why did I do that? Why did I just relinquish 5 hours of my life to something that was obviously a total drain?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So no, I wouldn't have spent another minute.
Right. And I'm just, I'm just curious as to, because sometimes people are not even just aware of their behavior.
I think he had no idea.
Right. Well, just hear me out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to change your mind.
No,
I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just pointing out that oftentimes in this evolvement with other humans, instead of just being like, I'm done with you because you behaved this way. But if they're not even aware of it and you bring it to their awareness and they're open to the like, oh, fuck, I wasn't even aware that I was doing that.
Yeah.
Or showing up that way. Like, that's not really who I want to be, but I didn't know I was even doing that. Maybe that's why people don't respond to me in all of other life. Thank you for actually telling me that I had a booger in my nose, right?
And
and then at that point, that's why I'm saying, like, if he were to come back to you and be like, I've really given this a lot of thought and I've been practicing, I'd like to practice with you. Again, not saying that you need to, but like, this is how we grow as humans, right? Like, if somebody gives you a perspective and you actually then say, I want to actually incorporate that into who I am. And now I want to practice it with maybe you, since you were brave enough to tell me, then I get to practice it with you. And I'm curious, like, if we as humans, isn't that the healing? Like, that's free healing, where you're like, oh, sure, if you want to practice on me, and if you're open to, like, now's the time, whatever his name is, let's just call him Joel for, hey, Joel, like, right now would be the time where you actually ask me about me, right? If you want to practice this with another human, now would be the time that you're like, hey, and what do you think about this? Let me hear about your story. And like, then you're helping heal the planet to teach, like, someone, because if they're open to feedback, they're willing to learn, right? Or willing to, it's called entrainment, right? You're in training and helping infuse other people to be like, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? Because we are walking around in blinders. So, like,
totally.
Right? Like, oh, this is how I was taught to behave because my parents told me not to fucking interrupt or not to ask questions and da-da-da. And so I'm sitting across from this beautiful woman. I want to impress her. And that's where we are in blinders most of the time, unless you're awake.
Yeah. And this is
you just woke him up. So maybe he gets to practice with someone else and you don't have to.
He was like, are you open to feedback? And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, great. But I do wish, like, in reflection to what you just said, I wish I had said something on the first time we had seen each other. And I'm like, I noticed that you don't have a lot of curiosity about me.
Right.
Or do you have any curiosity?
Right. And you're just afraid to ask.
Right. Because, I'm totally transparent. Right. You can ask me any question you like. And I'm happy to share my life, my perspective, my experience with you. But then
instead of writing someone off and then being like, I'll give you one more chance to act correctly for me, right? Like, if he didn't know what turns you on, right?
Right. And so going back to your, like, getting right to it.
Right.
Getting really clear at the very beginning. Like, I noticed this is happening, or there's this, like, dynamic. Is that true?
Right.
Or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, maybe, there's always, like, the infinite possibilities of what you don't see because of your blinders,
right.
And
how often are we judging another human and just being like, I expect you to show up perfectly for me because my preference is that you ask me a bunch of questions about myself. And if they don't, then I'm going to fucking judge you.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but that's, oftentimes we're too afraid to tell somebody they have a booger in their nose.
Right.
instead of just telling them and then getting it out of the way so that you can move on.
Yes.
Right? Or if they're like, no, I want to keep that there. And you're like, I can't look at you anymore. Right?
Oh my God, I'm a skier, so
but we tell people,
I constantly am like,
we will not tell somebody for fear of offending them,
right?
And we'll just let them walk around.
But don't you love knowing, being like, oh my God,
I wanted to know
so much.
Yes. It's 1 minute of like, oh God, thank you, and then it's like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know that I had that there.
You know, I feel like my trust always. I don't usually use the word always. Mm-hmm. But if a person is willing to tell me the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, I trust them. Mm-hmm. Because if someone's like, oh yeah, you look great, everything's great, no problem, like totally, like there's a thing and then I don't know what the thing is and then there's an explosion and I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? You know, this is where I think trust is built, being like, babe, I love you. And like, when you do that thing, it drives me crazy. Like,
right. So you establish trust with Joel, right? You're like, listen, I like you as a human and I would like to see you not have this experience again with another human being for your sake and for theirs.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to trust myself in giving you some unsolicited advice. Or it's even a reflection, right? Like if you are telling someone something as a reflection versus a projection of like, you do this, you're a narcissist, instead of being like, I have a reflection, I see something in your blind spot that you might not see, and I'm going to offer it to you.
Right.
You can take it or not. And
Brilliant.
if you do take it, then you can be like, oh, fuck, I didn't even know I was doing that.
Right. Later, I had this thought. I was like, it's probably, it's a shoot, I just lost it. It's like neurodivergent communication style. Mm. And a friend shared this with me because I don't know, it does happen to me a lot. So it is a reflection. It's also me stepping up into being like, I would like to participate in this conversation also.
Right.
You know, like this whole, like, that'll be $500. Thank you very much. Like, half the dates I go on, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was like 3 hours of therapy that I offered someone, you know? So this is for me, like, okay, my patterns around like, okay, what does it actually feel like to be heard and seen and experienced by someone else that is trying to have their seen, experience. But I think that it's a neurodivergent pattern that comes with a certain kind of people, you know?
Right. And we all come with something.
Right. Okay.
You know, even in the healing conscious community, people are still throwing around like, well, that person's a narcissist and that person's toxic and that person doesn't do this and that person doesn't do that. I'm like, are your bags completely empty?
Right.
Are you walking around with no baggage whatsoever? Are you perfect? Because none of us are perfect.
That's what my mom
where the
used
suffering
to say.
Is coming from.
My mom
everyone's not adding up to my preferences, so therefore, fuck you. I'm not hanging out with you anymore.
Right.
Or I'm going to label you. And then I'm like, well,
it gets lonely on the top of the mountain by yourself. It all comes
down to judgment again.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm going to judge you because you don't show up the way that I think you should be showing up. It's not my preference the way that you're showing up, and therefore I'm going to judge you for it. And then I'm just going to walk away and wipe my hands of you, and I'm going to label you something.
So my mom used to say whenever like there was something like that would happen, she would be like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't be as perfect as you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
coming back to that perspective of like,
I'm not perfect. I'm sorry that you are.
You're my Siamese twin and you think that? Right? Like, the person that is supposed to be the most like you probably has a different perspective on something.
Oh my God. My best friend doesn't like yams. And every time it comes up, I'm like, how can we be friends?
Right. Right.
She's like my sister. I love her to the end of days.
You have yam breath. I'm like, I'm not kissing you.
I'm like, why won't you eat my yams? What is wrong with you?
Right. Yeah. And then you're behind their back like, they like yams. She's no longer my friend. The yam lover. Oh my God. We have covered a lot of territory.
I know. Yeah.
Love it. This is fun. I hope
fun.
this works.
I just love chatting with you
and
anyway.
There's no price tag on it, right? Like we just recorded a conversation that somebody out there will listen to and be like,
yeah,
holy shit, I wonder if I do that. Or, I didn't think about it. I mean, we just covered like, I don't know, 500 topics.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 100 more for you. Yeah.
But, you know, and if somebody listens to it and they love it, great. If 25 people listen to it and they all are like, I fucking hate that, then it's like, then just don't listen to it again.
Right.
You don't need to write a scathing review and how much you fucking hated this. It's just like, change the channel. There's a million other podcasts to listen to out there that might resonate with you. And maybe this one in particular doesn't, but maybe the next one will. Like, it's just I don't have to be judged or judge someone else. It's like someone came to one of my Laudihans and was like, you didn't do this, and I hated the way you did that, and I didn't take it personally. I just said, you know, it's like if you go to Core Power and you end up in a, you know, hot core, strenuous, like hot yoga, whatever they're called. Like there's one that's like you're fucking lifting weights the whole time, and I got in one day and I was like, and I was like,
how am I here? Yeah,
I didn't go up to the teacher and be like, I can't believe you did that to me. I'm like, oh, I was just in the wrong class.
Right.
I wanted to come to Nidra restorative and I just killed myself.
Right.
Right. But a good example, right? Like it's the yoga. I don't need her to change anything about it. Right. I just was in the wrong class.
Right.
I don't need to write a review and tell everyone how much I fucking hated it. It's just like, and halfway through I could have been like, this isn't for me. I could have left, but I'm like, I'm going to muscle through this and then complain at the end.
I'm going to hold this 10-pound weight for 5 more minutes.
I am going to puke. But who else do I have to blame? I could have walked out of there.
Right.
I stayed. And yeah. Life is so much easier when you're not doing things you don't want to be doing.
Ease. You know, I mean, this coming back to this, like the freedom. I've been like divining freedom, peace, and ease. And I'm just like, I'm letting that ripple through my body, marinating in it. Because I'm just like, the qualities of like stress, shock, trauma, betrayal. I'm just like, you know, I'm just letting that all kind of just ripple out. You know, I don't need it anymore. It doesn't have a place. I don't have receptor sites for it. Thank you very much. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, it's just a no thanks.
You know, I don't want anyone else to have it. It can go into the ethers and just burn off into like cosmic dust, you know, bye. But ease, peace, tranquility.
That's flow.
Flow. Yeah.
But that is flow. All of that is flow. When people are like, I want to be in flow state, it's like, well, are you creating your own peace?
Right. And knowing your yes. You know, like, I mean, you can stand on a corner and be like, do I go right, left, front, or backwards?
Right.
You know, and
right at the airport when you stood in that juncture and you decided, I'm going to see how far I can spread my beautiful essence. That cost you nothing.
Yeah.
Or you could have went and sat in your seat and looked at the monitor and sat there and paced and been angry about like, oh my God, my flight's delayed, blah, 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 blah. Or you can stand in your peace.
Totally. Yeah.
Which one are you going to choose? And no one could stop you.
Right. And that's what I think is really interesting, again, about this evolutionary time, because we're also, you know, I've been paying attention to politics and international studies for 2.5 decades. And so I'm like, okay, what is actually going to change the quality of life on this planet for the greater good? Us individually synchronizing our personal peace, tranquility, freedom.
Right.
Again, not
freedom
having
of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of that, and
freedom of belief.
I mean, your religion does that. I'm going to judge the fuck out of you, and I want you to do it differently, or we're going to kill you.
So old paradigm, like
right,
bye-bye.
Right.
Yeah,
that's judgment.
Let's leave that in.
That's judgment.
Ashes of history.
My God is better than your God, and therefore I will judge you and I will kill you until you stop. Like that's judgment.
Judgment day.
It all comes down to judgment.
Yeah.
human suffering, I believe that the
Girl,
bane
my
of
dad
it
was
is
a judge.
right. I got to follow
Yeah.
this to the letter of the law, no
Uh-huh.
matter what the human condition tells me
Yeah.
is the right thing to do. It'd be hard to be in law.
Yeah. So, this is probably, Jedi mastering your own system.
Mm-hmm.
This whole like cranking the wheels of like your own nervous system, getting in like alignment and then like putting on your clothes and going out into the world. Like that's some massive Jedi shit if you can like qualify and quantify your essential nature.
Right. Which comes back to like the altering of one's consciousness in a mindful way. It's like, shit, I was just at the DMV for an hour and a half. How am I going to come back to center? Right? Is it going to be breath work? Is it going to be a walk around the block? Is it going to be an hour-long ketamine journey? Or is it going to be breath work? Is it going to be masturbation? Or am I going to go eat a gallon of ice cream? Like what? I'm going to tweak the dials on this to get myself back to me. And whatever I need to do that's not going to hurt someone else is what I need to do to recalibrate. And it's dependent on what you choose to put in your body. Like, I'm going to eat a gallon of ice cream. Well, the price of admission on that, I call that like the price of admission on that might be really good on the front end, but the back end, I'm going to be like, but I enjoyed it for a minute and I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Totally.
Right? And that's where the beauty lies in the freedom to authentically take care of yourself in whatever fucking way that you do it. And if it's a glass of wine, great. But the price of admission might be, oh, well, that just hijacked my dopamine system and now I'm going to want more later.
Right.
One glass is probably not going to be enough.
Yeah, totally. I drink alcohol. I enjoy having, but I
could if I wanted to. I'm just choosing not to because the price of admission got too high for me.
Well, I noticed that it's harder to connect with my authentic self when I'm in the drinking period. And so I don't trust myself 100%. Like my radar is not clear. And so I'll do it. And I know that the price of admission is like, I'm not going to meditate right now. Right. I'm probably not going to be like in my total most essential place. And that's okay. Sometimes price of admission, totally fine. My mom.
But alcohol, those first drinks made me feel, honestly, drinking made me feel good. I was like, fuck, I'm on fire. I'm funny. It was the after effects. And I didn't get hangovers in the traditional sense. It was just more like, God, I just don't, my synapses aren't firing as much anymore. My cognition, my sleep is impacted when I drink. And it was fucking with my whole neurochemistry system. And so therefore my hangover was like, I'm just not at my best, highest potential.
Yeah.
So when I was in France, I was like, oh, I could have a really beautiful, lovely glass of red wine. And I contemplated it an entire day. Like I let it hijack. So part of the demon of alcohol is it does get into your system. It's a low vibrational, mind-altering substance.
And there's entity there too.
There is entity there. I could do a couple lines of cocaine and be like, oh my God, I'm so energized, but it's going to take me to a frequency that like in the long run is not a place I want to be. Right. I don't want that hustle fucking mentality all the time. That, But part of the problem with these substances is some of them are highly addictive. Like nicotine, coffee, sugar. Sugar is highly addictive.
Yeah, I have a 15-year-old daughter. Believe me, I know.
But you don't even realize totally it. She's probably not having the shakes at the end of the day. She's probably not like, I mean, some people do, right? But like your body behind the scenes is like, I want more of that, more.
Yeah.
Because it changes your body chemistry.
Yeah. Well, when I noticed this thing about alcohol is I had a 60-day practice this over December and January where I was very committed to it. I did not want the day to end without me doing it. And I noticed that when I had alcohol during the day, even if it was just one beer,
Right.
you know, and the close that I get, like, it's very easy to pop a beer at the end of the day and watch the sunset. Very easy. And a beer isn't going to do anything. It's not actually going to alter your consciousness or your awareness of your consciousness.
Yeah.
But I noticed at the end of the day when I sat down to do my practice, I was like, I just didn't like the feeling of like the residue of that entity. Like there was something in my system that I could tell was not 100% calibrated. And I would find that like if I hadn't had a beer, it was, I could get 100% calibrated immediately. And I was like, wow, even one beer, you know, like I couldn't believe it. And that practice shared that with me, that I was like, wow, okay, so I'll still have a beer, but then I'm going to know that I'm going to have to just like work a little harder to like clear the entity of whatever is like in my space, my consciousness. And so and especially I think that when you get into getting inebriated, then that entity actually has more space to show up and expand in your, you know, body. There's entity, it's a spirit. That's why they call them spirits.
Yes.
As you know.
Yes.
And so, I've always been like, oh, tequila is my ally, because I do feel like I have a relationship with the entity. An allyship, you know, like it's been good. I've been developing it for like decades. But I know that spirit. You know, anyway.
And you can open yourself up to spirits again with anything. Like everything that we are consuming, whether it's energetic, whether it's a physical, tangible, you're putting on your body, in your body, anywhere, like all of it is a spectrum of choosing to alter your consciousness. And that's what I really want to try to bring awareness to, is that like some things open you up to like feeling really good and yummy, and other things will open you up. Like, I hate to say this, when I don't, I could choose to order a blanket off of Amazon and just have it delivered right to my door. I could choose to go down to like Cherry Creek Walking Mall and be like, oh, I'm going to walk around this mall for a little while and window shop and enjoy the sunshine and be around other people and buy it there. And that's going to, I end up with the blanket, right? Or I can go to Walmart and then I'm going to be around a bunch of likely people that I don't really enjoy being around, right? In a lit up cafeteria style, energetic. I'm going to end up with a blanket from all three choices, but each one of them is going to give me a different state of consciousness, right? So I want to feel loose and yummy, and I want to feel uninhibited for a little while, right? Like I want to take the edge off and get gooey. I could have a glass of wine or a shot of whiskey, or I could masturbate, right? Like, either way, I'm going to feel a little bit yummy after that. But which one is going to have the bigger consequence in the long run? And that's where it's like this stigma and mindset around alcohol. It's like, sure, there's nothing wrong with taking the edge off and having a happy hour. But, you know, you might not, I was going to meditate later tonight, and I know that that's going to block me from meditating. Or I'm okay with not meditating tonight, or the meditation will be different than it would be if I didn't have alcohol. And that's where I think the
choice point,
the mind shift of like, I have choice. Thank God I get choice on which one do I want to choose today.
And that's, I think,
rosé is going to be exactly what I need right now, or that's going to impact the rest of my night. So I'm going to have a sugary drink instead.
And when you have choice, you have sovereignty.
Yes.
You know, this is where you're like, this is my body, this is my temple. You know, whatever I choose is going to be your choice. They're not like consequences to your choice. It's choice. Be at peace with it. Be, you know, right with it. And like, that's your choice rather
Yes.
than doing things unconsciously where you're doing this way and this way and habits and cultural,
Yeah.
you know, all the like
Judgment.
bullshit that we've had to like work on unraveling from ourselves all of these years to be like, okay, yes, I want that rosé because I choose it.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh my God, I'm here at this, whatever the fucking story is, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But
Yep.
yeah, totally.
And, you know, even people who choose not to drink, like if I came out and met a bunch of girlfriends and they were all drinking rosé and I'm like, I don't drink. One, I could be like, oh, I'm not going to go there because I don't drink and I don't want to even waste my time in that energetic space, right? Or I'm going to go and I'm going to choose not to drink. And inevitably, someone would probably be like, oh, you don't drink? Oh, you don't drink?
Wow.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, no, but I could if I wanted to,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to lose a chip. Like, I'm not going to have to start back over because I don't play in that realm of like labels of like, I'm an addict and I can't drink and I'm going to go back to square one if I drink with you.
Yeah.
I'm choosing not to drink because I've got shit to do later, or tomorrow I want to feel at my top best. And that is going to prevent that from happening or put a niche, you know, a hook in it. Right. But I don't have to then pretend like I'm going to drink just to make other people feel more comfortable, or, you know, like, oh yeah, I don't drink. Like, or I'm like, fuck no, I don't drink.
Even energetically, I'm like, God, that felt horrible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, I'm
that
not
cowering,
shame. But do it. I don't judge you for it, and you don't have to have any sort of worry or judgment that you're drinking in front of me, that I'm going to be judging you, or that I have to now explain myself why I'm not drinking.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want,
right? Because I'm a sovereign being, and I know it.
Yes,
I think that when people
that's that
realize
freedom of walking through the crowd and you know, like, oh, I get to do whatever I want.
Yeah, I think when people realize that they're sovereign beings, like really, really come to the understanding of,
and not apologizing for it anymore.
Yeah.
When you can get to a place where you're like, I'm sovereign and I'm not apologizing for it. I don't have to be like, I'm a sovereign woman and fuck off, you know? Like, I don't even have to be that anymore.
No.
I'm sovereign and
these are my choices and
I'm good. Some people it will provoke. And you know why it provokes them?
Because they're scared.
Because they're like,
intimidated.
I want that.
Uh-huh.
How'd she get so brave? And I'm going to be angry and mad because I secretly want that for myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to hold her responsible for it because I'm making a choice in my life to not be sovereign.
Here's my podcast.
Yeah, right. But there are people out there who are angry with you for being a sovereign person, but it's really, they're only angry because they're just not doing it themselves and they want to scapegoat and blame others, you know, instead of, and there are people who they're like, well, I wish I could have your life. And I'm like, you can. And you don't even have to hit rock bottom to get there. You just make a choice now.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do that. You know, I have this, and this. And I'm like, those are choices too.
Right.
I have a mortgage. You don't have to have one.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to have one. Just because society tells you you have to have one doesn't mean you have to have one. And if you don't want a mortgage and it's weighing you down and now you're going to hold everybody else accountable and be bitchy about it, that's on you. That's on you. That's your choice. Get rid of the fucking mortgage and then see how your life, right? Anything. But don't let me, if you're provoked by that and that's what you want, don't give me all the reasons why you can't do it.
Right.
Back in the working world, I would have sales reps who were like, well, this doesn't work and it didn't work this way and your last predecessor did it this way and it didn't work and didn't work. And I was like, oh, how about we focus on not all the shit that didn't work?
Right. What is working?
Do you have an idea of what will work?
Right.
What's going to work for you? And if I can make that happen, then I'll make that happen. Right? Like if I give you authority to make those decisions on your own and you don't have to wait on the phone call for me, then you make the decision. And if it ends up being the wrong one, then we'll fix it later. But giving people their own empowerment to make decisions on their own is way more freedom than you have to check with me on everything before, you know, it's like,
yeah,
if it just comes back to like, let's focus on what we can do, not all the things that we can't do, because there's a lot that we can't do.
Right.
Okay. So we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And And this was the inaugural run of like
I'm so
Journey Out of the Bottle
honored.
podcast, like on the fly, Burning Man style. Pop it
I-
up, let's do it, and then we're done. No one will even know that I was here.
Great. Awesome. It was great to be with you all today. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you for joining Journey Out of the Bottle. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And for more information or to connect with me, please visit journey-couture.com or visit me on Instagram at Journey Out of the Bottle. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a beautiful and blissful, outlandishly wild day.